Today on the channel, we're going to look at some statistics, some metrics, some analytics, the stuff that we look at every week after a Saints game. And we're going to take a look at where the quarterbacks are, some PFF grades, some stuff that I find interesting. And we're going to talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, first up, the quarterback PFF grading and efficiency. Efficiency is the y-axis, the EPA per play. Remember, EPA is expected points over average. Then the x-axis is the PFF offensive grade. This is the entire season, okay? So Rattler basically in the middle for both. In the middle for, a 70 offensive PFF grade is fine. Like a 70 is good. You're playing at a pretty high clip. EPA per play, flat, basically slightly above average, I guess. But yeah, obviously top right is where you want to be. Bottom left is where you want to avoid. Geno Smith is trending in that direction quickly. So Rattler's played about average. Maybe slightly above average across the entire NFL, but that's where he's been at. And then this is just week 5. So this is just against the Giants. Played pretty well. He's up there with the Josh Allen performances. Not Allen's performance was great. Up there with Dak and some of these other players, Stafford, Daniel Jones, Mac Jones, players like that. So pretty good from Rattler. This is basically where he's been all season long. I don't think he's really peaked or descended in any game. So it makes sense that he's kind of in the average. Next up, we have the Pro Football Focus grades. Okay, so let's take a look. So we have, this is just the teams. This is overall. So the overall grading has the Rams as the best team, Lions, Seahawks, Colts, Packers, Bills, so on and so forth. The Saints have climbed up to 29th. Now the Bengals are the worst, Dolphins, Raiders. I would have the Jets down there. I'd have the Panthers down there, but this is just their own blend of like the overall stuff. So offensive, the Saints are 28th offensively. Passing, they are 21st. Pass block, they are 21st. Receiving, they are, 25th. Running, they are 7th. Pretty damn good. They've been really good EPA-wise. I think last week they were 6th in rushing EPA-wise, so they've run the ball really well. Mostly Spencer Rattler scrambling and Kendre Miller. Run blocking, the Saints are 29th. Okay, then defensively, the Saints are 20th. Run defense, they are 15th. Tackling, struggled early on. They're still 32nd in tackling, so that's got to get better, obviously, down there with the Texans. Pass rush, I'm guessing, dead last. They've been really bad in pass rush. Coverage, Saints are 7th. Okay, that's what five takeaways will do, right? But coverage grade is now a 68, so they're 7th in coverage. I would assume boosted by the one and only Jonas Sanker. This one's interesting. Okay, this is special teams, so they are 18th in special teams. And remember that whenever we go to DVOA. So that's just where the team is, and then again we go to the grades for the individual, or this is for the game, we'll do the positional. So quarterback grade, Spencer Rattler is 20th. You go to running backs, let's see if anybody, Kendre Miller 4th, pretty sporty. So Kendre Miller in limited, he only has 89 reps compared to a lot of these other guys. Javonte Williams has 256, but in limited action, Kendre Miller is playing at an elite level. So he looks like he's flashing. He looks like he's dynamic. This season, he has been. And we've talked about it the last 2 weeks that he's been playing as the best player on offense. And it's showing, right? This is, he's playing at an elite level for sure. So we need to see more Kendre Miller. If we go to the wide receivers, let's see where they're charted. Let's see. Chris Olave comes in at 39th. So he's top dog at 39th. And then Rashid Shaheed at 42. Of course, after that, bomb always helps. Let's see, real quick. Let's just take a look at let's take a look at the tackles. Let's see if any of our tackles chart. So Kelvin Banks and Fuaga 40 and 41 is where they're sitting. Okay, let's go to the game. So this is for the Giants game. Highest rated player, Rashid Shaheed. That's what a 90-yard receiving touchdown will do. Spencer Rattler, second best player. Graded out Kendre Miller third. Chris Olave, Eric McCoy. Tally, good to see Talise Fuaga have a good game. He was kind of struggling, so good to see lowest graded players: Torricelli, Simpkins, Juwan Johnson, Alvin Kamara. Interesting. Tells you there's a changing of the guard when this can be your worst players, right? The Taysom Hills, the Brandon Cooks, the Alvin Kamaras, and you still win in convincing fashion because Spencer Rattler, Kendre Miller, Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave, Eric McCoy, Talise Fuaga, Devon Vele, some of these young guys. So it's good to see the young guys kind of stepping up here and playing pretty well. Pass block grade, you can see, was really good across the board. They allowed one pressure, no sacks. Talise Fuaga was elite. Eric McCoy was elite. Stoll was good. Kamara was good in pass block. Foster Moreau was good. Juwan Johnson, all good in pass blocking. Then run blocking, Kendre Miller was good. Oh, no, excuse me. Running, Kendre Miller was really good. We just looked at that. And then Spencer Rattler has been really, really good running as well. Run block, Torricelli Simpkins was good. And you can see across the board is kind of even there. Defensively, the Houdats, Brian Brzee played maybe the best game of his career. That is a high grade. That might be like one of the highest grades for the entire week. Really, really good stuff from Brian Brzee. He was fantastic. Kool-Aid has no doubt about it, his best game as a pro. So Brian Brzee, Kool-Aid, Alante with some super big time performances. And then Terrell Burgess has maybe the most important play with breaking up the flea flicker that Jackson Dart underthrew. Jonas Sanker puts it in another great performance. And then at the bottom, again, it's the same old story. Pete Werner, Devon Godshaw. I mean, Pete Werner has been pretty rough all year long. Every game, he's down here. He's down in the bottom. So he's got to be better there. He's got to turn it around quick. But, you know, we talk about the new names, the new faces, who's going to carry this the next era. And you're starting to see that kind of come through on offense and defense, where you're looking at the names and you're looking at who's making the impact. And it's what you want to see. You know, it's what you want to see. So let's go to DVOA. DVOA, all right, so I looked at the DVOA rankings before. So overall, the Saints are 31st. And now I thought this was kind of interesting because I was like, damn, we were 31st last week. I know our offense and defense isn't charting that low. So how are we that low? So then I went and looked. Offense. Where do you think we rank offensively? We are 22nd offensively. Okay, so not bad. Like 22nd, like you're getting in that, like, okay, you know, you're certainly serviceable. Like you're slightly below average. Then you get into like the defensive. Defensive, we are not great, 29th, all right, but when you're looking at 22nd offense, 29th defense, it's like, well, how does that equal 31st? And then it dawned on me. Our special teams is still so bad because of the Seattle game, but then also because we are really struggling every week on kickoff returns, on field goals, on some punts. Kroger had a bad punt against the Giants. We had bad kick returns against the Giants. Groupie obviously missing field goals. And lo and behold, we are 32nd in special teams. So it's interesting because PFF has us, whatever it was, like 17th special teams, and DVOA has us far and away the worst special teams. So that's where we're sitting. If we go like to offensive DVOA and dig into the numbers a little bit more, let's see. Passing DVOA, we are 26th. Rushing DVOA, we are 17th. Okay, and then defensively, let's see. Defensively, we are pass defense, 29th. Run defense, we are 19th. So that's where we're sitting. And then, of course, like I just mentioned, the special teams has been horrible. So that's where we're at right there. Now, this is the last thing we'll talk about. I thought this was kind of interesting. So it dawned on me, like, let's just chart the three quarterbacks that aren't Baker Mayfield in the NFC South. And this is where it is right now. So this is as of after Sunday of week 5, okay? And you've got, so obviously Rattler and Bryce have played one extra game, but this is where they sit. And you can choose your fighter. You can kind of, you know, anytime you look at these kind of numbers, you can make a case for anybody, right? Like you can make a case that, oh, well, you know, Penix he's throwing the ball more, which he absolutely is. You can also make the case that, Rattler's running around more, which he absolutely is. Rattler has been the more efficient of the three, 90.4 rating to 82.7 and 79.5. Rattler, the better completion percentage, more yards. Again, only he's got the extra game on Penix, so Penix would have more yards if they all had the same amount of games played. But who you cannot say it is Bryce Young, right? It's either Michael Penix or Spencer Rattler is the second best quarterback in this division. And I could hear the argument for both. Penix, with the extra game, unless Penix just had a horrible game. But 6 touchdown passes for Rattler, 1 interception compared to 3 for Penix, 3 and 3 for Penix, and 7 and 4 for Bryce. Interesting, because before the season, it was Saints had the worst. Remember, before the season, it was Saints had the worst quarterback room in the NFL. Michael Penix is a superstar. Bryce Young has taken a step. And now it just kind of hasn't played out that way. And, so just giving you a snapshot of the performances of these guys. Again, Baker Mayfield's out of control. Baker Mayfield could be the MVP of the NFL. So he's not to be compared with these guys. But it's interesting because you hear a lot of the I don't know, man, Spencer Rattler this, Spencer Rattler that. But you look at all these numbers, you look at all these metrics, he's doing just fine. So, Saints are trending. They continue to trend upwards. When it comes to everything, really. When it comes to just the entire performance of this team. They have spots that are bad, and they obviously have to get better at that, for sure. We looked at all this. We know what it is, right? We know we had to be better at tackling. Tackling is in the 36.2. We know we had to be better at pass rush. And that's kind of where the Saints are right now, is that overall, they're average to below average. But where they are deficient, they are deficient. It's okay, defensively, all right, they're 20th defensively, okay. And then you look at the tackling and you look at the pass rush, and it's just bottom of the barrel. So if you clean that up, if they clean that up a little bit and Chase Young comes back or whatever, and the pass rush gets a boost or however it works out, but all of a sudden, you can really jump some of these teams. Like I mentioned, the Jets of the world and the Panthers and the Giants and the Titans and the teams like that. The Saints absolutely could jump those teams with a better pass rush and better tackling. And then they're sitting pretty much where we expected them to sit, which is that somewhere between 20 and 25. And that's kind of where this team probably belongs. If you look at the tiers of just the teams in the NFL, I would have them below this tier. I would have them below the tier of, the Pittsburghs of the world and the New Englands of the world and the Denvers of the world. And, they belong in this chunk with Chicago and New England and Arizona and teams like that. It's Chicago and all those. A lot of these teams are on our schedule, so a lot of these teams will be able to see how that plays out. Right? We saw how it played out against the Giants. We'll see this week how it plays out against the Patriots, and then we'll see how it plays out against the Bears. So we're gonna get to see one way or the other how they stack up against these teams. We know how they stack up against Buffalo, against Seattle, against San Francisco. We understand. All right, we're not there. No one expected us to be there, right? So, just keep performing, keep taking steps, keep moving forward. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams with a record equal to the Saints or worse. And if you look at them, Tennessee, the Raiders, the Giants, Dolphins, Browns, Jets, Ravens are a weird situation because of the Lamar injury, but I think there's a serious difference between the Saints and then the Titans, the Jets, the Dolphins, the Panthers, teams like that. So even the Bengals now. The Bengals now are a disaster. But we go through this every week just to kind of see how it's looking, how it's tracking. Let's see under safeties. So Jonas Sanker right now is the 7th highest rated safety in the NFL, which is pretty impressive, right? Let's see what cornerbacks. Quincy Riley is 34. Alontae Taylor is 36. Is Kool-Aid not on there? Yeah, Kool-Aid's must be in the next grouping. Let's see. Kool-Aid 65. So let's go to defensive interior defenders, shall we? Interior defenders, Brian Brzee with a huge game has catapulted up to 31st. Okay. If we go to linebackers, Demario Davis sitting at 9, the ageless wonder, still in the top 10. Crazy, man. Still in the top 10. Edge defenders, let's see. Edge defenders, Chris Rumpf at 39th. Go ahead, Chris Rumpf. Stand up, son. Cameron Jordan, 53rd. And Carl Granderson at 68. So gotta have the edge players, pick it up a little bit. Eric McCoy is 9th. And I think that's everybody. We did everything, right? So that's where we're at there across the board. But it's always interesting to see the grades and the percentages and the metrics and whatnot. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the comments below what you think. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.